olmaz diyor.
Sevgiliyor. Niye canım? Konuşuruz Allah Allah. Her an her şey olabilir diyorsunuz. Kesiyor. Bağlantı
Şu an
kesiliyor.
yayındayız, geldim.
Ne geldin?
Canlı
Şu an
yayındayız.
yayındayız.
Nasıl canlı yayın ya? Bağlantı kesildi yazıyor gene.
Evet, biz bunu düzelttikten sonra düzelecek.
Aferin. Çocuklar hareket ediyor burada. Görüntüde. Elinizi sallayın çocuklar, canlı olduğunuzu göreyim. Gençler. Elinizi sallayın, canlı olduğunuzu göreyim. Ses gitmiyor herhalde.
Oraya
Ne? Daha yeni gitti ses. 30 saniye falan var arada falan.
evet.
Bak yeniden. Güzel. İyi bir sistem. Leyla Hanım hoş geldiniz. Yani özetle biz ne yapacağız? Konuşacak mıyız şu an?
Biz evet şu an yayındayız.
Müzik dinleyelim ya. Sabah erken güneş vurur duvara diyor. Vay be.
Sabah erken güneş vurur doğar. Sabah erken güneş vurur doğar. Allah Osman seni faydasız Zalım Poyraz gıcım gıcım Zalım Poyraz gıcım
Evet dinliyorum.
İsa Mesih Mehdi'yi bilir mi?
Yakışıklım, güzel yüzlüm tabii. Çok uyanık, keskin akla sahip bir insan dünyayı takip edeceği için. öyle Mehdiyet görülmeyecek gibi bir şey olmaz zaten. Yani çok sarsıcı, yırtıcı, her yere oynatan, silindir gibi ezen bir sistem. Görülmemesi mümkün değil. Yani öyle müphem bir şey olmaz Mehdiyet. Yani mutlaka görülür. Ama tabii asıl ölçü İttihat-ı İslam'dır. İttihat-ı İslam'ın meydana getirmesi, vesile olması, Müslümanların başına geçmesi.
The Mehte's movement will definitely be seen. This is definitely a great movement which will make an impact all over the world. But what is most important is for the Islamic Union to be established, for Ittihad-ı Islam to occur. This is how Mehdi will be just leading the Muslims. He will be the head of the Islamic Union, and this will be the manifestation of Surat an-Nur, verse 55. The hypocrites, they just deliberately turn oblivious to the meanings of Surat an-Nur, verse 55. There are certain hypocrites in Egypt, for instance. They say we're just wearing our turban, we are wearing our jubbah, the Azan is recited. So this means that this is not a local area. This is the entire Pakistan, they say. And they claim that this is how God just carried out his promise and made religion established everywhere. We just practice religion after fear. This is how they just speak like this. And they claim that this is how Islam is practiced in Pakistan, Islam is practiced in Afghanistan. And they say this is adequate for them because they already hear the Azan. They say they recited their prayers. And this is how they find Islam to be practiced. And they find that to be adequate. And there are certain hypocrites who find that to be sufficient because they do not want the good morality of Islam, God-fearing people to prevail all over the world. There are similar people who speak like this in Turkey. They say that Azan is already recited. There are people who perform prayers. So they claim that this is adequate for Islam. They say this is how God has made his nur, his holy light, established. This is the mindset of the hypocrites. And they speak like this. And there are certain people who are deceived with such words. Some of these people are really naive, maybe. They cannot really understand the evil behind these words. Because many of these are the hypocrites who do not want Islam, God-fearing people, to prevail all over the world. When we read the Surat an-Nur, verse 55, we see, I seek refuge in God from the accursed Satan. God has promised those of you who have faith and do right actions. This means that these are true believers who are sincere in faith. And God says that he will make them successors in the land as he made those before them successors. This is definitely a key statement, a key explanation, because God teaches that there are certain successors in the land who have become successors before them. So who are those ones? When we refer to the Quran, we see that the Prophet Solomon's reign was definitely superior than all the other countries, all the other administrations. Even Ethiopia at that time, that was under the rule of the Prophet Solomon. And there was no other state which was high ranking, which was superior than the Prophet Solomon's administration. And the second one is Sulkarnain. Sulkarnain, who just perishes and destroys the Dajjal system and gets world dominion. God teaches that Sulkarnain, he traveled to the east and to the west of the land. And Sulkarnain was given a very strong dominion, a very resolute dominion. And God teaches that God will be making them successors in the land.
Halbuki bak daha öncekileri diyor Allah. Buna rağmen o kafası bir türlü basmıyor daha öncekilerin. Bizim köye hakim olduğuna göre diyor. Bölgesel hakimiyet yeterli.
But there are certain so-called scholars, so-called religious scholars, who claim that the province that they live is that land, and in their province religion has prevailed They claim that their village is already following religion, and there are certain people who perform prayer, and there's an imam there in their mosque, and they find this to be adequate for them. This is the mindset of the hypocrites. And God teaches in Surah An-Nur, verse 55, and will firmly establish for them their religion with which He is pleased, and give them, in place of their fear, security. So this means that there will be no fear of any threats, any attack from any country, just like the British deep state or USA or any other country. Because God teaches that there will be, in place of their fear, security. However, we see right now that there are some attacks from different countries, including the US, Russia, or others. God teaches they worship me, not associating anything with me. So these believers, they are not in shirk, they are not in idolatry, they are not associating anything with me. This means that they do not come up or invent new commandments, new rulings on behalf of the Prophet. Any who are kafir, any who are unbelievers after that, such people are deviators. Those people are deviators who are in fujur. So the hypocrites, in their mindset, they just turn a blind eye to these truths, and this is only one. When we look at the mentality of the hypocrites, we see that they do not understand the reality of matter. They cannot really appreciate that matter is only a shadow being. They cannot really understand that matter is only a shadow being. They have nothing inside their heads. They are not aware that what they see is only an image.
Peygamber İbrahim gibi diyor. İmam Mehdi de alevlenen ateşten güvenli ve emin olarak çıkacaktır. Her türlü saldırı olacaktır.
The Prophet sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem says,
Ebu Said el-Hudri rivayetinde Resulullah şöyle buyurmuştur.
just like the Prophet Abraham, Imam Mehdi will be secure from fire. There will be all attacks against the Mehdi, but he will come out of all those attacks in a secure way. Ebu Said el-Hudri, he just said, when Dajjal appears, Imam Mehdi will be just moving against the Dajjal, struggling against the Dajjal. And when this is the case, this believer, Imam Mehdi, the weapons, the guns of those agents, they will be attacking the Mehdi. There will be certain agents, there will be certain spies who will be watching the Mehdi, who will be listening or following the Mehdi. Where is this mentioned? This is mentioned in Sahih Muslim.
Deccal'in merkezlerde gözetleme yapan, köyde, kasabada değil, merkez, büyük şehirde gözetleme yapan, yani izleyen, casus.
This means that they will be using certain agencies, certain spies who will have weapons. FETÖ is like that. They will be watching in the centers, in those big cities. This means that they will be acting as spies, they will be acting as agents. As those ones who wear weapons, they will fight against the Mehdi. This is how we understand in the Hadith. Abdullah bin Mesud narrated from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet said, Imam Mehdi from Ahlul Bayt, from the family of the Prophet, he will be the administrator of the entire world, and only that way he will be having dominion all over. This is mentioned in Taberani, Beyhaki, Ahmet bin el-Hüseyni, in Bestevi.
Ve sonrası ise ve sonraları ise Allah'ın bak tüm dünyayı
The Prophet sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem, he just addressed Imam Hazret Ali. You are the one who is the first, and the last one, the final one.
378. O soğutucuyu kapatalım canım kardeşim. Resulullah diyor ki
Imam Mehdi, God will be making Imam Mehdi conquer the entire world. This is mentioned in Biharul Envar.
İşte Kur'an açıklamasını yapıyor. Nur 55'in açıklamasını. Zülkarneyn ve Süleyman müminlerdendir.
The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, the meaning of the entire world are four. The ones who have had dominion all over the world are four. This is the interpretation of the Surah in verse 55. The Prophet Solomon and Zulkarnain are from the believers. But Nimrod and Buhtun Nasr, they are from the unbelievers. And for the fifth, as the fifth, Imam Mehdi, he will be having dominion all over the world.
Yeryüzünde, bak bütün yeryüzünde ne verdik diyor? Sapa sağlam bir iktidar.
In Surah Al-Kahf, verse 84, God teaches for Zulkarnain, we gave him power and authority on the earth for Zulkarnain. God gave him power and authority on the earth.
Her şeyden bir yol sebep verdik. Bu ayetin
What does this mean? There will be no opposition against him. His authority and power will be so strong that he will have no opposition, and granted him a way to everything. In the interpretation of this verse, God teaches that Mehdi will be looking like Zulkarnain. Imam Mehdi will be like Zulkarnain and the Prophet Solomon, and he will be having authority on the earth. This is mentioned in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem.
Canım içi olabilir de alerjik de olabilir. Ona dikkat etmek lazım. Deneyerek kullanmak lazım. Yani yüksek dozlu vitamin hapları bazen dokunabilir. Küçük dozlardan başlamak.
Should we use vitamins?
Yani
You may use these, but these could cause certain allergic reaction.
ihtimal alerji yapabilir.
Sometimes high-dose vitamins could have reactions. You may get started with some small doses of vitamins.
Yani köy hayatı olsa falan güneşte falan açık duruyorsun. Sürekli sebze, ot, yemek falan yiyor. A, B,
Because high doses could cause certain allergies, but vitamins could be used because in the cities one cannot really consume, one cannot get vitamin from food because in village life people consume all kinds of vegetables and receive all kinds of vitamins, but in city life such supplements are necessary.
dünya tatlısı oh. Patilere bak sen. Evet. İmam Hüseyin Aleyhisselam şöyle buyurmuştur. Allah İmam Mehdi'nin eliyle ölmüş yeryüzünü yeniden diriltip canlandıracaktır. Sonra İmam Mehdi'nin eliyle müşrikler istemese de hak dini diğer dinlere ve bütün dinlere üstün kılacaktır. Onun bazıları dinden sönüp
Imam Hussein alayhi salam said, God will revive the earth, the dead earth, with the hands of Imam Mehdi, and despite the ignorant ones, the idolatrous ones do not want, God will make religion prevail all over the world. Some of them will be deviated from the religion, and some will be just keeping firm on their feet. When the Mehdi is in concealment, those ones who are patient, despite all the slander and defamation, they will be like those ones who have fought together with the Prophet sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem. They will be receiving such rewards from our Lord.
Uygur Kongresi Mesum'un 2017'nin Kasım ayında şehit olduğunu, ancak şehadetinin ancak 27 Mayıs'ta Çinli makamlarca bildirildiğini belirtti.
The 88-year-old
yalnız bu çok vahim bir şey.
Abdülmehtap
Ölümsel olan bir insanla görüşememek, avukatının görüşememesi falan.
Abdülmehat Barat Mahsum, he was martyred recently. It was announced that he was already imprisoned in China and he was martyred, and after months actually this was disclosed. Let us ask that to the Chinese consulate. Let us ask about the other topics which have occurred previously. If necessary, we can invite the Chinese ambassador here. We need to ask for an explanation for this. Abdurrahman Dilipak,
Peygamberimiz Mehdi kurtarıcı ilan etmiş ve yüceltmiş. Ne yapacaksın Abdurrahman Dilip? Bak, peygambere karşı kılıçla mücadele mi edeceksin? Farkında olarak veya olmayarak bir toplumu aşağılıyorlar diyor. Mehdi'yi peygamberimiz müjdelerken toplumu aşağılamak için müjdeliyor.
Abdurrahman Dilip just mentions that there are certain people who just claim that certain people are saviors. Abdurrahman Dilip should know that actually the prophet is just giving the promise of a savior, and Mehdi is giving the prophet is giving the glad tidings of the Mehdi. The humiliation is only made by the Dajjal. How could you ever speak with words of humiliation? No Muslim would ever use such words. Abdurrahman Dilip says, you cannot free yourself from the Mehdi. Wherever you run, Mehdi will find you. Dajjal is the one who tries to free himself from Mehdi. You should be delighted with Mehdi. Mehdi will save you. The British deep state may be just trying to find a way out, or the Dajjal may be trying to flee. But why should you ever want to have a way out? Mehdi will be saving you from the hands of the Dajjal. You should pray that may God make Mehdi appear. Abdülaziz bin Müslim, he narrated, Imam Mehdi is the order of religion and the honor of the believers, honor of the Muslims. The Prophet gives this glad tiding for the Mehdi, and Mehdi attracts the hatefulness. The hypocrites attract the hatred of the hypocrites. This is how the Prophet informs. The Prophet informs that the hypocrites, they will be full of hatred, they will be full of grudge against the Mehdi. They have no hatred against anyone, but they have hatred against the Mehdi and his students. And Mehdi is the one who will be making Darwinism and materialism perish and be eradicated.
Mehdi'nin talebelerinden bir kişinin gücü 40 kişinin gücüne sahip. Yeryüzünün hakimiyet ve
The hearts of Mehdi and his students will be like steel. One of them will have the power of 40 people. This is how the students of the Mehdi are. One of them will have the hearts, the strength, the power of at least 40 people. And they will be having dominion all over the earth. The hypocrites are never pleased with this. The hypocrites, they just try to limit the land, the authority of the Mehdi. However, the Prophet informs that Mehdi, he will be having power and authority all over the earth.
Maşallah, ehli kudret olacak demek. Her bir ölü onun yanına gelir kalbinde. Bak, çok
The Prophet says, God grants 40 men power to Mehdi. This means that Mehdi, he will have amazing power, amazing strength. Every dead person comes next to Mehdi. They come as dead next to Mehdi. They will find in their heart and in their grave this prosperity, this peace. And they give the glad tidings of Mehdi, and even the dead ones, they give glad tidings for the Mehdi. Let's go now, and tomorrow we will come, inshallah.
Cumhurbaşkanımız Sayın Recep Tayyip Erdoğan'ın kıymetli hizmetleri 3. Orman alanlarımız 1,5 milyon hektar arttı. 2003 yılından bugüne kadar toplam 145 milyar Türk lirası orman ve su yatırımı gerçekleştirildi. 1992-2002 yılları arasında 743 bin hektar alanda ağaçlandırma çalışması yapılmışken 2003-2016 yılları arasında 4,5 milyon hektar alanda ağaçlandırma çalışması yapıldı. Yani önceki 10 yıllık dönemin 6 katı kadar ağaçlandırma çalışması yapılmış oldu. 3 milyar 750 milyon fidan ekildi. Hedef 2019 yılı sonuna kadar bu sayıyı 4 milyar 500 milyona çıkartmak.
Fosil Avcısı'na hoş geldiniz. Fosiller Allah'ın yaratmasına en büyük delilleri teşkil ediyorlar. Yeryüzünde çok fazla fosil var. Biz de bu program